Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome in. We are back once again with the Revolt Racing League, Week 5, Division 2. It's a Friday. It's 3 o'clock p.m. for me. It's probably nighttime for most of y'all. We got some subscribers in the chat. Quick shout out to our subscribers. And we'll be hopping super quickly into it. First of all, Yurak, I cannot tell you Toyeka or Hama, but someone else might be able to. You know the choice in your heart. You just have to find it. Now, I do apologize straight away. The TVs are turned off today. I don't know what was going on with my webcam. It was honestly being pretty crazy, and it would not capture on the website that I use to capture, so we've got just some blank TVs here today. The TVs are turned off, but there's still somehow sound being emitted from them. This is the voice of Toyeka bringing you Revolt Racer. You thought it was Honk. This is actually Toyeka here today. So yeah, let's hop straight into some of the information. First of all, we've got today's session, which will be starting shortly. We've got the lobby opening in about a minute. To cover what is going on, today is the featured session. You can choose one car out of that pool of 8 cars, and you have to stick with it for the entire session. Track list straight below. Very simple, straightforward stuff. Pickups are on. Welcome in, Mickey. Welcome in, BGM. Good to see y'all. As always, chat popping off for our Revolt Racing League. Glad y'all enjoy the action so much. I am too. I'm a little bit just ready to get into it though. Let's see. First things first, we can pull up some division stats. We see the TT has won 3 out of 4 sessions. Every session that he's made it into the lobby for, he's won. Which was certainly not something that we necessarily predicted headed into the beginning of Revolt Racing League. But it's the situation that has developed for sure. So huge congratulations to TT for 3 session wins. Just getting information that TT won't be here today. Thank you very much, Pokers. Yes, I remember now. We did have people saying they couldn't be here. Zyno can't make it either. Esteban going to have to join a little bit late. And the lobby should be up shortly. And I am in. Okay, so now that we have a bit of a moment for everybody to be getting into the lobby, I can cover some more of this stuff. We've got Super, who has made it to every session so far, and he's gotten 2 third places, 1 second place, and I think like a 5th or a 6th there on circuit races. So he's been a pretty consistent racer. Another interesting person that we had was Taco. Taco had 2 second places 2 weeks in a row, and we thought he was going to be the main challenger to TT, but he missed the My Race session and was only able to get 5 points there on the circuit races, which is a complete reversal from an early strong performance with 2 second places. And as such, Ashen has had basically the mirror of that, where he had 2 poor sessions to start out the RVRL, and then he had 2 strong ones after that. The only winner of any session besides TT here in Division 2 is Ashen Forest. He won the My Race session, which is something that we can highlight right now, right there. We can see Ashen actually only won those last 2. We had Super, who won the first 3. It looked like he might win the session, but Ashen did find, by 6 points, a win by the end. Zyno did quite well as well. Marquito as well. Marquito, 5th place overall in our standings. Couldn't make it to the circuit session. Keep in mind, only the best 7 out of 10 sessions will be counted. So you are allowed to miss sessions here and there. Vasoski, for example, has missed 3. But he is showing up today. He has confirmed, and hopefully we'll be able to make it to every other session, because Vasovsky is certainly someone we expected to be competing for that first place position. In fact, I even thought it would be a shoo-in. But the only session that Vasovsky has made it to so far is the Classic session, which he only got 4 points on. So he's certainly got his work cut out for him. Zyno is another name that I expected to be higher up. And in fact, Riles as well. Another very knowledgeable player. Esteban, an RVA original. Keep in mind, though, we're not even at the halfway point in our league yet. So despite how powerful of a start TT has had, and despite Super Ashen also having very powerful starts, they have to lock it down. And there's definitely room for these people who I expected to be showing more to finally show up. So Vasovsky joins the lobby and says, "I'm back. I won't rage quit this time, and I'll try to complete the series." Good to hear. Definitely good to hear. Vasovsky, one of the developers of the modern multiplayer Revolt client. So definitely good to have him competing in this. I understand tensions run high in Revolt at times. We've got Robden00 coming into the chat from the Alias Revolt Master community. And in fact, Robden is usually the person who is competing with Vasovsky for first place in the Alias Revolt Master events. It's usually Vasovsky versus Robden at the end of the day. Good to see you here. I'm not sure if you're supporting Vasovsky or maybe hoping that he loses. Ertzu, first chatter, welcome in. Congratulations on getting the first chat in the chat room. Even faster than Amma today. Welcome in, Lopesca, Maddie, Keela. Good to see y'all. Nick, of course. Right. This actually isn't just a Toyeka session, despite how it may appear based on the card choices. I mean, with Toyeka being included, it is very remnant of a Toyeka session. But there's some people who have found a degree of creativity and ingenuity. Those options available are RVRC20, NDB, S13 All-Tune. And then we've got some stock classics as well, some oddballs, the AMW and Panga being allowed. And of course, folks, we got the Toyeka Hamakuga as well. Of course. Okay, Ertu and Panga would like to see that for sure. But we got Urak representing the Humma, and Ashen Forest representing that S13 All-Tune. Now, I've heard Frostbitten talk about how powerful he thinks the S13 All-Tune is. I tend to agree with him. I wouldn't say it's like crazy strong, at least not for me, but I trust him when he says that if the S13 All-Tune is driven well, that is competitive with the best of the best in the pro class. The main issue with the All-Tune is I think it's RWD. It definitely struggles in grass, spots like that. Love this part of the mix. You know what? I don't know. It's kind of throwing me off today, so I'm just gonna leave that be. And by leave that be, I mean the opposite. And go, oh yeah. We are good to go. But yeah, the S13 All-Tune, besides struggling with some grass, some slippery textures, it's a really good choice. We got the Humma coming in as well. Like I said, in Division 3. Humma, good and picks up. I don't know if I mentioned picks on session. Picks on session. So, this is going to be not just driving, but also dealing with pickups. And Humma can be quite good in that type of scenario, especially with more cars, because Humma has that nice recovery and nice acceleration. So, especially in a full lobby, I really need to shut the hell up, though, because 6 people just got caught in the first oil of the race. And that's not too out of the ordinary. It definitely happens sometimes. That Wurzel rocket looking like it hit 2 at one time, despite on our screen, colliding with the wall. So who survived? We've got Rod, Super, Vasosky, and Epsima are leading. Haven't said anything about Epsima so far in the lobby, but it's good to have him at the Revolt Racing League, just finishing up some med school stuff and able to race. Vasosky was off to a lead that we might expect from him, but some early jitters here on Grissville, and the pickups continue to come out. Battery from Pokers, Shockwave. More oil going to catch. It's a double oil too, a triple oil. And not the, I mean, it wasn't quite a full line, so I think some people might have been able to skirt around that, but Ashen was not one of them. Wurzel was not one of them either. Vasosky trouble on the landing. And let's start flipping a little bit forward. Do we have, okay, do I need to redo the music? Oh yeah, I do. We got the sound a little bit out of whack. Thank you for saying that. Let's get it at a good spot. That should be pretty good. And we might have a Eurobeat kind of day. I'm feeling like switching it up, so can definitely put that on for the next tracks. Epsima. It's actually Rod leading our session. I'm not sure, did I miss that at the beginning, or did Rod pass up some wrecks? Epsima almost falling down to that lower level, which is definitely not a place you want to be on this track. So he's actually probably pretty thankful of that. Does get hit by a rocket, but gets bailed out by nature. And we see some people going for that shortcut. Rod and Pokers are 2 of them. Epsima preferring to take it a little bit higher. And ooh, that's that by Epsima. Catching 1. They're starting their final lap. And Epsima definitely going to be going for pickups here against Rod. Oil coming out, which he looked like he was ready for. He actually hit it as well, but goes ahead and zaps Super to keep him at an arm's length. And so the main battle here is for 3rd place. Ashen, S13 Altoon leading that. He does have that tricky slippery portion and another one coming up right now. That is going to be a challenge on the S13 Altoon, but he makes it look quite easy. Super has closed the gap somewhat. Not sure if he has anything. Don't think he's in range for Zap. And they both go for the shortcut. Ashen tipping the entryway. It's going to be fine. Super trying to get really close with the rocket, but it still doesn't manage to connect. He's not going to be able to cycle for anything either. Rod, Epsima, Ashen, Super is their top 4 to lead us off. Pokers with a strong finish. Vasosky 6th place. Wurzel, Taco, Urak. Okay, let's get some of that stuff that y'all like. Don't get me wrong, I like it too. I like it too. Don't get me wrong. Whoa, whoa. I didn't mean to word it like that.
4, 3, 2.
Okay. Okay, up next, we've got Quake, Airport 1, and Kaddish Sprint Reverse for our next 3 on the list. Only Vasosky doesn't have a win in Division 2. That's certainly a Twilight Zone type scenario, because that's the exact opposite of what I'd expect. In the meantime, we've got ROG once again joining from Cuba, connected on a mobile phone. And he's been able to find some wins. Maybe not a session win, but he's been able to find some race wins. So it's always cool to highlight that. Shout out to ROG with the innovative mobile gaming adaptations. He recently won an I.O. session, I believe, which is possibly our first I.O. session win on mobile. We got racers breaking down barriers here in Revolt, international community. Players represented in just about every continent. We did have a player from Egypt who dropped out. That would have been Africa represented as well. No one from Antarctica, to my knowledge, but that would be the one other continent we're still missing. Vasowski's got the bomb. He's playing some dirty tricks, trying to slow down and catch Wurzel. And that was an aggressive pass, but he did eventually make it. Super shoots Yurak into that little crevasse between the doorway, and he gets stuck, has to do a full repo. Taco has lost control, leading to that downward slope. Pokers waiting for an ideal time with the zap, and it was pretty good. He's going to be trying to find a couple more. First and second are up there in his view. Super and Taco. Now, there is technically no team driving allowed, but I will say it's absolutely part of my strategy, if I have a 50-meter lead like this, to just keep it between us two and not necessarily do anything to blow up this entire deal, and just kind of have a handshake kind of deal. Now, Super did have a battery, so actually he was just hoping Taco would shock him or something like that, which didn't happen. Now he's got rockets. They're both hitting oncoming traffic. Super, much worse so than Taco. Probably some of the worst lap traffic I've ever seen in that Quake corridor for Super right there. And he gets hit down to 6th place. So any Revolt fans in the building, raise your dongers right now. I see we got some oos, we got some burrs. So shout out to those of y'all who enjoyed that moment. Because y'all are messed up in the head. Honestly, I know y'all did not enjoy that. But we got Ashen, we got Super. We actually have Vasowski, who was moved into a podium. Will he finally find a win, a dub, a race dub? Vasowski, of all people. He's up against Super, and then he's got a big gap against Taco. Fortunately, Super does have a bomb. Yeah, you can it does happen with a lap like Quake, or a track like Quake. It's something that you just have to be ready for, and you just have to try your best. So we got Super and Vasowski headed for it again. He's just gonna try to zap the entire field with oncoming traffic. Definitely a Chad move out of Super. Very disrespectful and very cool at the same time. Taco is in first, 30 meters out in the lead. Vasowski 15, 20 meters back behind him. Headed into the 4th lap. This is where we find ourselves. Pickups are locked and loaded. Oil's out. Vasowski gonna get hit. And oh my god, a 150-meter gap between the rest. Ashen trying to find the stability with the all-tune, not able to find it so far. Let's see how this oil goes. Wurzel right into it. Ashen pokers. Epsima does manage to dodge it, and he's got a battery, so he's trying to escape. He's even got cycling for another one. We'll see what Wurzel's got. We'll see what Epsima's got. And it is water balloons. Knocks him straight off into a pit. Vasowski had a zap out in 3rd. He might have caught Super, but it's definitely not going to be enough. Super trying to chase down Taco, but Taco looks like smooth sailing. Super's cycling. He is just going to finish it out. That was a really precarious situation for Taco, but he does get out of it. We got Ashen, Yurak, Epsima pretty close to each other. Hama problems on the field. Pickups being dodged. Rockets and water balloons. Wurzel. Ho ho ho! Epsima said thank you. Epsima's been getting some zaps so far. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but Epsima's been stocking up on the zaps. And he certainly catches Wurzel off guard there. Just a little bit too tight on the turn. And that stairwell will throw you off. Okay. Airport 1, Kaddish Sprint Reverse, Spa Vault 2 is our next 3. Airport 1 is not one of those tracks that you think of as being that super crazy, but it actually kind of is that crazy sometimes. So I'm super excited for Airport 1, but what I'm even more excited for is this Kaddish Sprint. Now, of course, I do think the forwards version is probably a little bit cooler, but the reverse version very cool too. We'll see who has got that track figured out, because if you don't, it's going to take some lucky bumps to get where you need to go. Esteban has made his way into the lobby. Ah, Maddie, good observation. Rod, after winning first place in the first track, gets last place here on Quake. And actually, if I saw any reverse track, I would have liked Quake Reverse, actually. There's just some oil spots that are so comical on that track that it's almost like you can't pass it up. But anyways, we are heading to Airport 1 Pokers. And Rod with the pole. Gonna go on left side. ROG has wrecked and also caught someone else in his clutches in the middle of the wreck. Oil, Zap, Taco cycling, staying behind Rod. He's got a Zap of his own. He has connected with Rod Zap though, I think by accident. Just got a little bit too close and got unlucky there with the 1-for-1 not turning into a 1-for-1. ROG, Ashen Forest with the S13 All-Tune, Urak Super Vasosky. Okay, Urak does manage to pass the bomb on to Super. Vasosky gets hit by it. Wow, and he cycles into another bomb. Vasosky has got to not be feeling too good about this. And I'd like to draw attention to the fact that this is the second session that Vasosky has made it to. And both of the sessions have been pickups on races, and he has really been getting pummeled by the pickups in both sessions. So hopefully he can keep his cool, because pickup sessions that can just be the way they go sometimes. Sometimes you just get a bunch of bombs and your teammate or your opponents get everything they need. Do have Wurzel going on the outside, opting for the safer route, but Ashen greets him with the Zap. I don't know how that didn't hit ROG. Ooh, okay, almost losing control. Does manage to hold on through it. ROD, once again, first place, last place, first place. Looks like it is in his future. We're on lap 3 of 6 here. Okay, I had forgotten about that, Maddie. But again, that doesn't surprise me. Vasosky is a top racer. Regardless though, things happen with pickups. Now I do see, okay, the bomb explodes for ROG. Ashen actually collides with ROG. And I don't know about that oil. I'm not sure if it's going to catch too many people. I would say definitely some other places for the oil. Has a battery. One of the few batteries we've seen so far. Trying to dodge the rockets, and he does. Fake by ROD. Someone way down in the line must have dropped that one. He has no choice but to collide with it, and he loses 2 positions. I spoke too soon about ROD's airport win. He looked like he had such a lead, such an edge. Oh, Nick. Good point. Now, someone I wanted to talk about was Wurzel, because Wurzel has been kind of quiet in the RVRL so far, but he's out here in 4th, and he's also kind of a veteran. He's been around for a long time. Has been there in that competitive scene, doing endurance racing, doing all different sorts of competitive formats. And it would be good to see him heat up a little bit more here. And I think he can definitely do it. Shockwave allows Rog to get out of Rod's way. Doesn't get affected by the Zap. It did look like he got affected on our screen, but that Shockwave is just going to displace Rod just enough. The rocket's coming out. Not going to connect. It is the final lap. So it's going to be Ashen. Ooh, ROG getting bailed out. Okay, Wurzel in 4th. Super Taco Epsima. Pokers. Vasosky. Okay, the battle for the back. Oh, and we see Vasosky losing 2 positions. Has fallen back down to 11th place, but pickups coming out. Esteban's flipping. Urak's flipping. Vasosky has picked up something new. He dodges the rocket. He shoots a triple at Esteban. Not going to connect. He does finish out in 10th. A rough start for Vesosky. Rough start for Esteban and Urak as well, who are also doing quite well. Now, I need to be back in 15 seconds, but you can keep the session going. All good. I just need to be right back. Very sorry about that. Just had to sprint through my house real quick to keep it going. And yes, I am going to be a little short of breath for just a moment. But we have Urak, who's leading. I thought he might be going for some zap shenanigans to stay in the front, but it's actually Pokers who escapes that entire scenario. 40 meters out in the lead. And we will get those results up for you right after this race. I'll pull it up right now. In the meantime, we've got Pokers with an astonishing 70 meters out in the lead from the rest of the competition here right away. Does still have, you know, pretty much 3 full laps left to go. But this is a great start from him. And I do believe there are 2 stars on this track. We just saw one of them come out. Wurzel is in 2nd place, and this was the exact kind of moment that I was hoping for Wurzel. I was hoping that Wurzel could turn up the heat, start to make an impact here in the featured session. And he has been doing so. He spins out just a little bit, but he's still there in the podium fighting with the rods, 60 meters out ahead of 4th place. Super, Urak, Esteban, Vesosky. And it looks like we might be looking for a backfield fight for this game. I'm just going to do a quick check-in on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We see Rod and Wurzel similarly distanced there out in 2nd, 3rd. But first, pretty powerful first. Big fight for 7th, maybe even 6th. Obvious fake right there. Keela, did I curse? I was pretty sure that is that what happened? Did I just curse someone? Because honestly, I started to lose track of it. Oh yeah, it was Wurzel. I just cursed where, like, literally I started talking about him. He's like, I gotta go by 180 off the cliff. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, that did happen. So anyways, the 2nd start coming out. Yeah, Vesosky is in 4th, which is good for him. It's been a tough earned 4th place for him to be able to grab at this point. Super is somewhat nearby, but he's really caught up in the mix with Esteban and Epsima. Urak as well, trying to get a piece of the action there. Rockets coming out, Shockwaves coming out. Okay, some interesting pathing there. And Vesosky and Super both struggling. Oh my. Super runs straight into a fake. Oh my boy. My boy. That is indeed a fake pickup. That was... Okay. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Interesting. So the rocket's not going to connect on Vesosky. Vesosky taking a quick dip. He said, Venice calls me. Those are not canals, so I have no idea what that joke was. But we've got Wurzel in third, trying to catch Rod still. Pokers is 200 meters out in the lead, and Pokers deserves a huge shout out. Rod losing control, spike strip on the play. Vesosky gets caught with yet another bomb on him, but he does manage to pass that on. We got Wurzel trying to zap him, but it's not going to happen. Vesosky with a podium situation up against Rod. Rod colliding with random walls, but he's managing to hold on to second nonetheless. A tricky part of the track for sure, but they both make their way through it. Vesosky add yet another ticker to that bomb counter. I think he's up at about 7 or 8 over 3 tracks, you know, give or take, that he's just gotten bombed over and over and over again. Oh, no, wrong button. We got a battery coming out. Oh, almost too wide, though. Okay, he's going to finish it up, though. Super 6th place. Absima, Ashen passing up Urak, I think. Or maybe... All right. And we've got Yun giving a shout out to Esteban and ROG for Latino America strength. Shout out Latino America. Shout out RVA. And we got a shout out to Lopesca as well. And actually, to my knowledge, Lopesca is currently not racing, but he was in the chat earlier. So, huge shout out to Lopesca. Vesosky asking if all the other good tracks have been already played. Well, buddy, if you were here, you would have known. Okay, Maddie, I like it. Latino All-Stars versus Europe All-Stars. Shout out Lopesca. After I said that, I was like, you know, I'm kind of implying that he left and he isn't here anymore. So that's not what I was implying. But good to have you in here. Shout out to Lurkers of Revolt United. We've got our next track, which is Spot Vault 2, followed by an interesting one, Meltdown, and another interesting one, Toy World Aquatica Redux. Yes, please continue outlining that for us, Maddie, if you have any other ideas, because I actually love the idea of Latino America versus Europe as a Revolt team event. But we are headed to the laundromat. Oh my. And it's a narrow corridor. And it's Urak with a zap. And he is out in second place. Do spas have laundromats? I mean, there has to be somewhere that they do the towels and stuff. A very dirty spa, I will say that much. And we do have Ashen in first, Urak in second. They've got all these 18-plus duck boxes just laying around. It's very unbecoming of us. It's very unprofessional. Some unprofessional driving out of Supra as well, if I may say so myself. He does find a battery to bail him out. And he's going to actually get first place off of some very unprofessional driving, but gets a battery. And we've got Urak, who is ahead of him and has some rockets, and Super knows that. So he's cycling. Oh, some big rockets from Super. We've seen a lot of missed pickups on this session. A lot of pickups not connecting, and Rod almost having to take a dip. Ashton as well. Actually, it was Ashton, not Rod. The Star coming out. Shockwave not going to be too impactful because of that Star. Tricky 1-2 there in the cornering. Urak and Rod both getting caught up in the action there. Super 40 meters lead. Epsima out in second. That's right. Didn't they used to go through the same door? Wait, is that real? No, that's like the reverse version, right? I don't remember exactly, but I think I know what you're talking about that pre-patch. He looked like he wanted to drive on the other side. Oil expertly placed. I think that was probably Super. Rod's going to get caught. You're at pretty much the whole field is right in the middle of that. Rog trying his best to avoid it. It's just hitting everyone. We got Wurzel and Vasowski, who I have kind of been in a very biased way, honestly, been rooting for a little bit. And they've let me down here on Spobble just a little bit, but no pressure, guys. Really no pressure. But we got Super, Epsma, and Pokers, who won Kadish Sprint by an extremely large margin. He's trying to make a statement here, out in third place. He's got Urak challenging him, though, and a big jump from Urak. Not the best, though. I don't think that that is the line, necessarily. But, hey, it's Humma. If you want to drive in a straight line, I'm not going to blame you. Go ahead and drive in a straight line. Go crazy. Pickups are locked and loaded, I'm assuming. We're here on lap 4 of 6. Yeah, exactly. I found it ironic that Vasowski is a strong pickups off racer, and yet the only 2 sessions he's been to so far have been picks on. So I guess, you know, just it is what it is. Pokers does tip the corner. That section, that tight corridor, is one of the biggest killers in Spobble 2, for sure. Although this track is filled with landmines, if I may say so myself. We've got one such landmine right here. We got this over-under type deal, 1-2 type deal. Urak caught up in the pool. Pokers, another 1-2 right there. And then another, you know, corridored turn. So they really don't allow you to let your foot off your gas. Actually, they encourage you to let your foot off the gas because this is a technical track, very technical track. Even there to start the lap, you got the option: do you stay in the grass or do you jump through the railing to line yourself up already on the ground? Pokers decides to go in the grass, and it works out quite well for him so far. Epsma is 100 meters behind Super in first. So Poker is going to have a hard time catching him, but he has done a pretty good job of breaking away from Urak. He did have a slight slide there, but Urak taking that pretty wide. We got a big 1-2 that will determine how they're going to do, and they are going to take that pretty smoothly. Urak with the battery, using it not at the best. Well, it is what it is. Poker's defensive zap. Urak launches, and he finds a third place with the fake shortcut. That was supposed to be a patched shortcut, but he actually finds the win there. Not technically, it's technically only second, but that was insane. Pokers had the zap. He thought he had it locked down, and Urak, with some super quick thinking, he launches over the leaves and straight over the finish line. That was insane out of Urak. That was one of my top plays of the entire league so far, was right there. Urak finding second place out of nothing, out of thin air. And that people do know about that cut, Maddie. People do know about that cut. A lot of people in First Division are definitely going to know about that cut. But the thing is, there used to be a ramp there, and it was just a big-ass ramp, and it set you up perfectly for it. Now you have to take a very risky YOLO strategy to be able to jump in the leaves and launch your way over. It's difficult. Oh yeah, Lopesca. I know my boy Vasowski. I started commentary thanks to alias Revolt Master. So I love casting for the Italian community, which you know as well as a member of the Italian community. We are headed into Meltdown, and a big bomb straight from Vasowski, just really trying to get... The game is really trying to break down Vasowski's mental in every way possible, and he's trying to break down his own mental too by taking that jump just a little bit too greedily. It would have set himself up perfectly, but he just didn't have the airtime for it. And in fact, I don't think many pros do there on Meltdown. I don't think there's going to be many cars that you can drive today that are going to be able to launch like that, especially on the entryway that Vasowski had. Feel free to correct me, but we're about to see Epsma attempt it. You can see Epsma just goes on the right side there because he doesn't have to try to do the cut. He just lines himself straight up for it. So we'll see if anybody else goes for that kind of cut, but yeah, I think this is the ideal line. I think he was probably just set up strangely for the start, but we do have Wurzel. Pokers has fallen back at the beginning of this, and flipping straight back towards the front. We have 60 meters. Epsma, Urak in second, Vasowski in third. Yes, I did, Lopesca. ARM, some of Bimmy's tournaments. That I was late on the registration. I was like, what if I just commentate instead? And I should not have been talking right there. Was that Vesosky? Who was that? That just completely drove off the track into the sunset. But it is Rod holding on to third. Taco, Wurzel. Wurzel hitting 2 with that shockwave. And Taco, the zap. It was a double zap, though, as ROD responds with a zap of his own. Oh, is that true, Lopezka? Oh, shit, dude. What? I had no idea. That's cool. Holy shit. Taco got hit at a perfect time. Starts rolling down the cliff. And Vasosky, against all odds, currently sitting in 4th place, soaking up the sun. Urak with a battery trying to escape Wurzel, but Wurzel, 3rd place, it's got to be all right for him. Wurzel's actually going to throw away a bomb, and it makes sense. He's 80, 90 meters ahead of Vasosky, so he wants something more forward momentum-y, such as a rocket or a water balloon. Bomb gonna hit him, send him back a little bit. Nothing too major. Any other fights going on? We got Rog, Taco, Pokers, Rod. A huge fight for 5th place. ROG, he does manage to pass on that bomb. I don't know what caused him to explode there. Maybe his own rocket? But we have shockwaves, we have batteries. Rod is trying to hold on to that 5th place, the helm of the backfield. Urak in a free second from the looks of things as Wurzel has a bomb. Vasosky is going to try to pass up Wurzel. He dodges the fake. Wurzel gets pretty favorable bounce. Vasosky battery. Boom. 3rd place. Super has to repo. Double shocks. Rod flipped over on his back. Unlike Super and Esteban with the battery, he was in last place. He sneaks into 6th place by the end of it. And Pokers, after 2 strong tracks in a row, does fall back a bit. Now let's get those standings. That was everybody, right? Yes. So give me just a moment. Is it this one? No, no, no. What are you doing, Hong? What the hell? Okay, Epsima. 92, Super 90. I knew that was the wrong one. It didn't even say RVRL on it. It said RVC and I just clicked it. We got Rod in 3rd, 5 points behind. Ashen 78. So, you know, super close field. Super close field. Obviously, very close fight for 1st. Epsima and Super. But no one is out of the running yet. Even Esteban could get a string that could get him a lot of positions. So. And pretty tricky track up ahead. The race line itself is not tricky at all. But there, with pickups on, there are always just some tricks. Just some ridiculous things that happen on this track. I think the main reason is the end of the track. You got that sequence under the dinosaur that catches everybody. And because there's that huge wall ride into it. Of course, this section's crazy too. Urak gets a zap. There's a bomb in that group of like 7 people. You're attracted to that oil like it was a magnet. He doesn't wreck though. He's fine. Epsima. Early lead. Not anything major. All it would take is a shockwave rocket. Even a water balloon might be able to make something happen here. Oh, Super trying to catch Urak. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. He does pass on the bomb though. Taco in 3rd. This section, not the dinosaur, the octopus. I'm sorry. Of course, it's the out-of-water octopus. Aquatica, and I'm saying dinosaur. That's... Okay. Where are the pickups is my main question, because we got people wall riding, we got people driving in straight lines, and the pickups are not coming out right now. So I'm very curious what people are holding on to. Again, Yurak and Taco both sitting on pickups. Nobody is cycling. Does everyone in this lobby have a zap right now and they're just waiting? Definitely some trick. There's one zap out of Yurak, hoping he's going to catch Taco. Taco's been sitting on a ball bearing. What's going on, Taco? Let's get some more pickups going. Catch off Yurak. He gets another ball bearing, this time choosing to cycle, and Yurak finds 2 zaps to match Taco's 2 ball bearings, and that's going to be Super in third. Oh, and a ramp problem from the Humma. Humma params? Anyone? Can I get a Humma params in chat? The double zap comes out. We're here on lap 3 to 5. I'm kind of giving a chaotic cast right now. It's just all over the place. But I'm trying to cover everything at once. It's pretty tough. ROG's off the track. Taco, Pokers, Wurzel, 4th, 5th, 6th, and we got 3rd right up there. This is a spot to watch as we head into lap 4 or 5. Pokers on the outside. Bombs. It is eventually going to get past the Taco. Oh, not the cleanest driving. Oh, not going to catch Taco, just going to boost him forward, but I saw the vision there. And that is the ideal place to put the ball bearing. It catches off Rod and Pokers. Pokers activating the battery, and that is a scary place to do it. As you can tell, that octopus, oceans between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The closest battle, the only thing even remotely close, is this battle between Rod, Wurzel, and Pokers here on the final lap. This is for 6th place. Rod's going to be cycling. He gets not the cleanest jump. It's kind of turning during the jump. And it is looking like it's going to come down to pickups. Not the best time to use it for Wurzel. He could have knocked him off the stage. He used it a bit early, though. And that shockwave will be nice. It will actually catch them 2 wheels on. Water balloons as well. Wurzel, oh, he barely makes his way through. Holds on to 6 over Pokers, but it was certainly close. Vastovsky and Ashen. And so we talked about the battle for first. Up between Epsima and Super. Epsima is going to be adding 5 more points with the first place over Super. Keep in mind, for those of you who don't know, the MotoGP scoring system is what we're using here today. 25 points for first, 20 for second, 16 for third, and the gaps start to get smaller as you go down the list. So that first, second, third, those positions, individual position swaps, are much more important than, say, in an IO session where you're only getting 1 point per person that you pass. You actually get 5 points if you pass second and get first. Something to keep in mind, for sure. Big wall ride to start us off on Spaceship. Rod falls out of it. Lots of crossroads, keep in mind, but it looks like very few, if any, people have taken the alternate route, which if you took the alternate route, you could have gotten a lot of pickup chances. Big shockwave is going to throw some people off. I would have liked to see it right here instead, though, if I'm being honest. The oil is going to be quite impactful. Ashen going to use it to his advantage to grab the star, and he's going to hope to scoot on by everybody else, and in fact he does. Out into third. Yurak strong early first with that battery. And does anyone go for the alternate path? Nobody wants a pickup. Nobody wants a chance at a battery. Nobody wants anything. They just want to race. Vasovsky, instant repo into Zap, but he dodges everybody accidentally on the Zap. Oh my. Oh my. And I'm trying to... Okay, so Yurak has fallen back a bit, but he gets another battery. Bomb. And he wrecks a little bit. Ashton going to continue to cycle. He's being pretty greedy here. He's hoping that Yurak explodes. Oh, he's going to try to... Okay, and Spike Strip comes out. 1-1. It's going to be a hit. Yurak going to continue zapping people. Maybe. Wurzel is going to get close enough. Epsima. And Epsima is one of our drivers to watch. Keep in mind, Epsima and Super are our front two, and Super is looking to finish this track way ahead of Epsima from the looks of things right now. But he's got to finish this track out. Taco versus Super for first. Yurak has fallen down to fourth despite those batteries. Clean missile onto Ashen. And again, we have no one going for the alternate path, so a lot of these pickup opportunities are being passed up by these racers. Super battling with Taco. The race is still on out in the front. Super is trying to cycle for more. He finds rockets. Okay, not going to try to add a zap to it, because what if Taco also has a zap? He's just trying to get Taco out of his way so he can pass, and Taco falls behind Ashen. They get a double zap, hitting Yurak. Yurak pops a zap as well. 3 zaps in a row. 3 zaps in a line, rather. Not 3 zaps in a row for Yurak, just to clarify. The oil, big oil, going to... Actually, Wurzel dodges it. Will he connect with anybody? Not going to connect with the zap. Hits... Not going to connect either. Let's flip back towards the front here. We've got Super versus Taco. They are beginning their last lap. Ashen in third. Oh, nice oil out of Super. Taco's going to ride it the whole way home, too. And he actually ends up pretty far ways into third. Whew. Lucky bounce there. Ashen has a bomb. Final lap here. Keep in mind, Taco, more favorable bounces. Hits Pokers with the water balloon to keep him out of the way. It does seem to be Super, Ashen, Taco, Pokers, Yurak, Wurzel, Vasovsky. Oh, Epsima trying to get his way in. And, oh, Epsima actually found 9th there. How did that even happen? I thought that was Esteban for sure, but by 9 milliseconds. Epsima finds 9th, but it's not going to be very good for him, regardless of if it's 10th or 9th, because Super found a great finish. Okay, quick check at the scores. So Super now 11 points out in the lead. Epsima 20 points out of the competition. You can see these gaps start to grow, but the battle for third is on. 3 players tied at 93. Ashen with 104, Rod with 101. We're headed into Petro Volt, a classic and a beloved track after some tracks that some of the field here today found to be a bit questionable. We are here on Petro Volt, an early battery, but Epsom is not going to be able to hold on to it, and Taco trades his bomb over as well. Zap out of Ashen, going to hit Pokers, and Pokers alone. Another one out of Yurak, though, trying to collide with Pokers again. He's going to be a little bit more careful this time, and let's see how this shortcut goes. Very important. Ashen's not going to hit it. Wurzel goes for it, and he nails it. And Wurzel's the only one. Okay, if Wurzel's the only one going for this shortcut, Taco goes for it and he fails it. He's going to have to pay dearly for that. But if Wurzel continues going for this shortcut, if he can nail it 3 more times, that's going to be a big time advantage of him over the rest of the field. It's definitely not one of those minuscule shortcuts, although it is very risky. That fake, Wurzel's going to hope that he bounces, but he doesn't. And he has to do that manual flip. Yurak catching up. More trouble for Wurzel out in the dirt. And it is Ashen 60-meter lead already on lap 2. And I'm going to tell you now, 3 of those shortcuts will not save 60, 70 meters. So that plan is off the table. We do have lots of crossroads scenarios here. Potential for oil, potential for pickups as well, of course. Water balloons being thrown out by Wurzel, I believe. Not going to connect with Urak. We'll see if Ashen goes for the... No, he just takes a save. Urak popping the battery. I don't think he can take the shortcut like that. Wurzel! Oh, man! Just cutting half the track in one leap. Absolutely launching it. Full speed. Doesn't care. Tries to hit Urak with a missile that is going to get a favorable bounce for Urak. And Ashen has not been able to hold on to that lead. We alluded to grassy, problematic textures for the S13 All-Tune. And Ashen possibly struggling with those. We didn't quite see it, but he does have a bomb now. So he's going to continue cycling, but first, second, third are all going to be on top of each other. And the zap by Wurzel is going to lock down first place for the moment. He slows down a little bit to try to pass on the zap to Ashen. Ashen gets hit by oncoming a little bit. Urak and Ashen next to each other. Any zaps are immediately going to be popped for sure. But it is Wurzel, and let's see him go for the shortcut. Ooh, okay. Gonna use the wall to bounce himself off. Nope, just gonna have nice turning there. Oh, Urak in the Hummer. Ashen bouncing on that ramp. It does happen from time to time. Urak, ooh, it looked like he might just be able to keep going unscathed. And we see Vasovsky in second. Vasovsky in second is something that we haven't been seeing as much as I predicted. I've said it time and time again, so I won't, linger on it for too long. But it is good to see him with second place here on Petro. We'll see if he can lock it down, though, because Urak has been racing quite well. Battery, Vasovsky, and he wrecks, headed into the washing room. He does have that powerful combo of the battery zap and an oil as well. Oh, Taco trying to line up the shockwave. Too focused on that. Can't correct for the oil. Loses 4 positions in the blink of an eye. And let's see how first place is doing. Wurzel by a long margin. And the real battle is right here. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. They're going for... Super attempts a shortcut, but he can't. Taco fails it as well. And that just shows how difficult that shortcut is. Urak, again, struggling on the stairwell drop down with the Hummer. And he... tips the corner on the ramp too, so he's going to be falling behind a number of people as a result of that. Esteban continuing to chase down Ashen here in the final turns of our race. For 3rd place, a podium position, Wurzel finishes up his race, and Vasovsky finishes as well. Ball bearing, not going to connect, and the oil could be super impactful. Super finds it over Epsima, not Epsima, over over someone else. God damn it! And Rod Taco ROG, and we got pokers. Let's see who that person was. It was Esteban, actually. Yes, Esteban. Esteban tried to sneak into a position for 4th, but that oil is going to allow Super to take it right back. Yeah, some 2023 oil. Shout out to Ashen Forest, suggesting people learn to tolerate shit more. I agree. Don't hate the game, hate the player. $148 points for Super. He's got a strong first place, but that super tightly grouped pack in the midfield has not died down at all. We got to head straight back in because it's Epsima's favorite track of all time, the Bunker. And lots of people have asked why this track is on the IO main pack. I enjoy the line of it, but this part specifically is hell, depending on how you get through it. Vasovsky with an early lead. This could be Vasovsky making it so that every single person in Division 2 has a race win, or a track win. Epsima in the track that he loves to hate. He is out in second place though, and he's trying to shoot Vasovsky. Nice lines from Epsima. F to Urak for sure. Vasowski has not had the pace on Epsima, but he's going to have that zap bailout. Super with the bomb. He's going to try to pass it on somebody, but he gets hit into the bricks. And definitely not what he was hoping for. Epsima trying to use the wall, steady himself. Ultimately, just getting a nice bounce on air there. And Vasowski has a bomb. Yet again, a common story. He's also got some rockets aimed at him. And the first one will collide despite his Vasowski's best attempts at veering away from it. Epsima not going to collide with the traffic cones or anything like that, but he will collide with Super Zap after he collides with a little bit of just like a little curb on the side of the track just by taking it too tight. And Super will be our new leader. After some tough early first laps, he emerges in our leader. He tries to do a ricochet missile off the brick as well to hit Wurzel. It's not going to hit him, but it's pretty risky to do it through that section. Could have easily collided and hit himself, but he YOLOs that one and it pays off. I mean, it doesn't hit him, so it doesn't pay off actually, but it looked very cool and very professional. We got Ashen in third. Oil going to be connecting with a lot of people. Yeah, the whole field. Now, for me personally, I like to take that route on the outside. ROG on the traffic cone. You must obey traffic rules. Yeah, I was going to say I like to take it on the outside, so I would have avoided that, but it's the weaker line, so these drivers taking the stronger line. And that oil. Oh, we have the WOW coming out. Oh, Vasowski has fallen down into 9th place. It looks like I missed some shenanigans there. Sorry, flipping a whole lot, but we got 3rd place. We actually have 4th place. Seems to be the main battle. Oh my god, I'm giving myself motion sickness by flipping through so much. But we have to do whatever it takes to keep our eyes on the action as we start lap number 5 to 6. Ashen, Pokers, Epsima, Rod, all grouped up. And we've got a big section coming up. Pokers. Oh my goodness, that oil. A bit of an unorthodox spot, but pretty much everyone has no option but to drive straight into it, all 4 wheels. So a very cool spot to use that. Pokers doing more stunt driving here. Accidental stunt tricks. Ashen getting hit by pickups. Taco in third. We'll see if he's able to hold on to it though. Some safe driving. Ashen preferring to launch and drive on the wall, and both seem to be pretty effective as we head into our final lap. Ashen shockwave into the wall. Pokers is now in 4th. And Taco, ooh, he looked like he might catch himself on that brick. Oh, Poker's flying way too close to the sun, trying to cycle for a pickup there by driving through the traffic cones. Eee, that's not what you want to do there. And Ashen is trying to snag 4th place from some more traffic cones, leading to Poker's ultimate demise as Vasowski tries to shoot him down too. But Poker's will be able to finish up 1 position weaker, but still 5th place. Epsima, we got Rod versus Rog. Ah, it will be Rod. Epsima, as predicted, Epsima, the track ends. Who TF chose the maps for today? Did I not predict that? I told you. I said Epsima's favorite track. So, as we pull up the track list, you can see we're almost already done for today. I feel like the action just started, like legit this time, and we've only got 4 tracks left. So, a quick session today. We got Venice, Game Room 2, Santorini, Mysterious Toy Vault Factory 1. Ah, yes, Maddie. I actually have no idea how GoTerror does his instant replays. But you know what, Maddie? I think I'll ask him. And maybe I can do it. Because I actually think that instant replays are one of the best things that Hot Seat does. It's so cool to see those instant replays. So I would really love to know how he does those. And maybe be able to put some of those together for y'all during the breaks. Okay, and start high octane beginnings here on Venice, as is always the case. Some big jumps and pickups have been cycled for Wurzel with the bomb, but expertly handling that situation. The fake catching some people off guard too. Wurzel with a blistering fast first place performance so far. That tricky diagonal door rods taking out the trash here with that zap. Epsima running into a fake ball bearing, rod colliding with those who collided into the ball bearing. It is nothing but Mahim here on lap 1 of Venice. Wurzel with yet another bomb on his back. Vasowski we saw trying to make stuff happen, but some just tough situations once again he's finding himself in. Wurzel hoping for favorable bounces. He doesn't, and ROG approaching with the zap. Wurzel has to slow down through that section. Rog going to capitalize, but then he collides with the fence into a star, and Epsima trying to shoot him into the canals of Venice, and indeed he does. Wurzel is now in second despite a very dominant first lap. Just couldn't string together what he needed to hold on to it, but Epsima has wrecked, and I'm sure Wurzel is very thankful for that. He's going to double zap Wurzel though. Wurzel with some very uncouth driving, and it's going to allow Epsima to zap him twice. So it's going to be back to this Epsima versus ROG situation. ROG too tight on the turn. Okay, Taco with the battery. Let's see what he can do with it. Trying to sneak past Rod, and he does. Grabbing a pickup, dodges the ball bearing. Missiles, the perfect time to use them, use them! Okay, and ROD hits the fake though. Oh, Taco! Styling! Going for a little bit of a drop down shortcut. And he passes up a couple of people. Vasowski holding on. And doing some recovery work, holding on to that fourth, but boom, big fake, and he can't even hit the ramp. So Taco getting like 30 meters from that fake. Yeesh, big gap out of Taco on that one. But he gets rewarded with a bomb. In the meantime, the battle for first has dissipated. It is Epsima with a strong first place. ROG chilling in second. And I'm going to continue flipping just a little bit, see how everyone's doing here. Urat gets zapped in the meantime. Big battle for backfield, and we will check back in on that, but we've got some tighter action up ahead. The battle for second. ROG blows up, but he's making his way through. And he's got another bomb. Let's see how he handles it. He cycled for a new pickup. And the terrible, terrible, terrible bounce for him. Yeah, that's going to lose him a lot. Taco with yet another battery. He's trying to pass up Vasowski, who has yet another bomb on his mother freaking head. It has happened so many times to Vasowski over and over. Now this time he has somehow managed to emerge from it all, but not in first. He is in second. I'm sure he'll be thankful for a second at this point. All the Mahim. Now Taco failing that diagonal door. It's not going to be good, but nobody's really challenging him. And it looks like a lot of these fights have broken away. Flipping back towards the front, make sure everything finishes as we expect. Indeed, indeed. Super with the battery. And he is going to be good to go. Oh, let's make sure. Oh, Shockwave Esteban finds him over Super right there at the very end. Action versus Rod. The Rocket is also going to find Rod over Action. I couldn't even close the scoreboard in time because I was so locked into what was happening. I cannot believe the double upset back-to-back is what we saw on the last turn of Venice. Both pickups looked like they were used too late, but they somehow found their target, and two upsets. It is ROG. We'll move on anyways. We are flipping through here. And we're near the end of our session already. I am going to go ahead and get those scores uploaded for y'all again. But my, what a exciting, I guess is the best way to describe it. I mean, hell, could use a whole lot of different words for what's been happening so far in Division 2. It's just been upset after upset here at the very ending, the very last spot that you can possibly find it is where these races are finding it. We've got Super 183. Epsima, 167. He has fallen back a lot. Vasosky moving up in the ranks. 1 point over Wurtzel. Vasosky versus Wurtzel, definitely something to look out for. Taco, Rod, both in contention for those positions as well, though. And Ashen is going to have to be careful if he wants to hold on to his podium as we head into the last 3 tracks of our session. The RVA boys are unfortunately at the bottom 2, but we've seen Esteban and ROG both having glimmers of hope, but they've just been falling short by the end of the track. And Urak is another example of that. Urak has been having some very strong early races, but by the end of the track, you just can't find it. I would love to do that. Absolutely, we could do that. That's a great idea. And in fact, you could talk to the Latino America boys and whatever y'all want to do for an icon. Y'all could have it. It could be the logo. It could be anything. But it is Urak leading Game Room 2. We're in our last 3 tracks of the day. ROG, a bomb. He is going to collide. Okay, decent. Vasosky getting pushed around just a bit. Yeah, definitely. And we could have one for IO too. Like, I love the idea of Europe versus Latino America, so we could definitely do some stuff with regards to that. We got Mirko Volt fans as well. The Poland fans. Epsima versus Urak, and this could be really good for Epsima. We mentioned Epsima's falling down while Super continued to rise up. That's not going to be what Epsima hopes to do. But if he can keep all 4 wheels headed in a good line for the remainder of this track and lock down a nice second place while Super struggles, he finds 2 positions right in front of our eyes when we flip to him, but he was in 6th there for just a second, I swear it. Lots going down midfield this race. And Vasosky. I keep bringing... I should stop. I should really stop. I feel like I'm Tyra Banks right now. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. We got Urak and Epsima still fighting it out for first, and it is a brawl as the zaps come out and the rockets to match. Epsima not finding what he was hoping for, though, and Wurtzel, who is locked into an overall points battle with Vasosky. This will definitely help out Wurtzel quite a lot. If Vasosky finishes last and Wurtzel third, he skips right over that oil and he zaps Urak as well. And this is the thing that we alluded to in the pre-game chat headed into Game Room 2, is Urak finds those early leads, but he has not been able to find the early finishes. Well, I guess the finishing leads instead of the early leads. Is what I was going for there. We got Epsima versus Wurtzel. Still, though, for that first place, they've been throwing pickups at each other left and right. There are a decent amount of pickups on this track. It's nothing crazy, but they'll have the pick of the litter as far as the spots of where they go for the pickup. So we do see the rocket for Wurtzel. Ball bearing collided into by Epsima, and rocket for rocket is Wurtzel versus Epsima right now. That would be sick, Maddie. I mean, older games have done it. There's like Age of Empires 2 is like completely popping off. Got Red Bull events, all kinds of stuff. The Walolo. Wurtzel versus Epsima. Final lap here. Epsima. Pretty much impossible to avoid. It's much less Epsima and much more Wurtzel laying that fake pickup at the perfect spot in the doorway. At a spot that Epsima had no option but to just drive into it. Meanwhile, Super has emerged into third place. So, what we were talking about Epsima versus Super. This is not going to do much to help out Epsima. It's going to require Epsima with good finishes and Super with not so good finishes. So, in the meantime, we got the last turns here. Nothing too major is going to happen. Urak pokers Esteban. And just like that, Urak falls behind 2. Esteban, what does he have up his pocket? He does have a shockwave. Whoa! He can't finish it out though. Urak still finds 5th as Esteban collides with the wall and spins out. Oh, Esteban! Oh. And Vasowski did manage to find 3 positions before ending it out. But Wurzel in first place, and that is going to be humongous for Wurzel. Headed into our final 2 tracks. Santorini into Mysterious Toy Vault Factory 1. I'll show you all a quick peek at the scores. And it is Super 12 points. It's nothing that can't be made up, as we typically say, and such a fight for the midfield. I know the cars are bumping, but Ashen, Vasowski, Taco. I didn't quite see where Wurzel was in that mix. Vasowski, zap. Okay, the gap has been made. The zap gap has been created. But immediately a rocket out of Rod, and a lot of those drivers are able to veer out of the way due to a very unfavorable bounce on Vasowski that bumped him to the left. If he went forward or to the right, it would have been fine, but he got hit so far to the left that he just could not connect with that zap and slow these other racers down. And so it will be Pokers and Epsima fighting for second and first. Taco 30 meters behind Epsima, trying to stay on, and he will. He does a quick repo and stays on the bridge. Taco does collide with him. He passes on the bomb. Epsima, ooh, I would have really liked to see that oil be laid on the left side at the end of that rather than the right, in the middle of it. But it could possibly catch some people. Vasowski in 4th. Taco 2nd. We've got Esteban, Ashen, Rod, Urak trying to find some stuff. Super is far back in 9th place right now, and Wurzel is as well. So if Epsima can find some more positions, especially, basically if he went from 3rd to 1st right now, that would be another 9 points into his pocket. And we talked about how Epsima is only 12 points behind Super right now. So if Super finished in a position like 7th place and Epsima finished in 1st, that would already be Epsima taking the lead. So all it takes is one disaster here, and as we can see, Taco is cycling and he's got a bomb on his head. So he is going to be blowing up shortly. Epsima has rockets to boot. He's going to try to catch him. Actually, he doesn't even need to shoot him because Taco is going to completely miss the doorway. Now Poker's 100 meters out in the lead. We were so focused on Epsima versus Taco that we didn't even notice that Poker's is 112 meters out in the lead. Vasowski, decent in 4th. Esteban 5th. Ashen versus ROG versus Super. Super's going to zap 2 and finds 2 positions. It's exactly what Super needed to do. He doesn't need to find 1st. He doesn't need to find 2nd. He doesn't need to find 3rd. But he might need to find 4th or 5th. So he is going to be hunting down, hopefully, Esteban and Vasowski from his perspective, hopefully, of course. But we will see how it continues to go. Epsima has not been able to break away from Taco in the meantime, and they'll be starting their final lap, so we will stay locked and loaded on Epsima versus Taco. Taco is choosing a cycle, as he should. Okay, trying to angle some balloons. Oh, okay, interesting balloon. He is just cycling it out. Doesn't want any more of those balloons. Kind of an interesting decision because, for example, right there would have been a good balloon spot. Right here would have been a good balloon spot. He had lots of balloon opportunities, and he just kind of threw them away for a cycling opportunity that actually didn't exist. So, kind of a situation that illuminates just how important pickup strategy is. I mean, people like to say that pickups are face roll, but there actually is a good degree of strategy that goes into it, and that situation right there shows that, because that was kind of just a two thrown away balloons that could have locked down a dub. Yurak using the battery at the perfect spot, just wall riding straight through, and he does find a pass there at the end. Wurzel near last place, so he's going to be losing a lot of that momentum that he was getting. We are about to head into the final track, so I'm going to get you all the overall standings one last time as we head in. We are speeding through. But Super, 2 points ahead of Epsima. Welcome in, Kippy, catching the final track. Or maybe more if you've been chilling in here, but welcome in. Welcome to the chat. We got Super versus Epsima. I'm going to try to catch all of this, but take a quick look. 1 second longer. Ashen versus Pokers is close as well, and we got to catch the action. The oil is out. The zaps are out. The whole field has been zapped. It's basically a moot point. Vasowski is almost getting zapped twice, and Vasowski drove off the track. No, he did end up getting zapped by Roddy once again, though, by the end of it, and he's got to be upset about that. But we got Ashen in first, Super in second. Keep in mind, Super 2 points ahead of Epsima, and that's it. So Epsima here in fourth. Oh my, situation heating up for sure as they head into lap 2 of 6. Taco, Pokers, Vasowski, Yurak, Wurzel, Esteban, ROG headed back to the front. Ashen, Super, first, second. ROD. Yes, Skippy, it is. Oh no, I don't want to relive that. I know you don't either. We got Ashen versus Super, first, second. Epsima has emerged into third. I want to pull up those standings so badly. I think we're going to do it really fast. It's Ashen, Pokers, and Taco are also all 3 points from each other. I'm sorry to scare y'all. So we do have Ashen in that mix, and he's currently leading. The double oil is going to be super impactful. Everybody running into that. And Epsima versus Super, the showdown. Now from this position, second gets 4 points over third. And so if Epsima managed to pass Super, it would be a win for Epsima at this point. Epsima is trying to pass on the bomb. He's slowing down. He's losing so much time. And Super connects with the water balloons. Epsima blows up on the slowdown, and it wouldn't have happened if he wasn't slowing down so much. So, interesting decisions being made. Many pickup-oriented decisions being made. He slows down and just to zap Epsima right before the incline. A super evil genius move from Super. And we are already halfway through lap 4 of 6. It's looking great for Super. And in fact, just moments earlier, it was looking incredible for Epsima. But how quickly situations can change in a pickups on session, I should say, as they begin the slopes of lap 5 out of 6. Super. Okay, he's on the outside. He does not have the best execution through that section of Toy Volt Factory, if I do say so myself. But we don't see that meter distance budging too much. 40 meters. We don't really see Epsima cycling too much either. This is a pretty pickup barren track compared to a lot of others. He's not even going to go for that pickup. I'm feeling like he needs a battery, but he doesn't seem to have any. He doesn't seem to be using it. Super is just, you know, left, right, lefting straight through this track. Oil out of nowhere, and Epsima doesn't have anything. He gets zapped, and Epsima doesn't have anything. Where are his pickups? This is lap 6 out of 6. I thought the action was about to explode, but Epsima not cycling and has no response. What has happened here? And it is going to be Super winning the session. Congratulations to Super. In the meantime, the battle for like 4th, 5th, 6th, I think. It is Ashen winning that. We have Pokers finishing out in 4th. So a strong performance for Poker. I think it might put him out over Taco. And Wurzel. And Epsima saying sad, carried by Zaps. I certainly wouldn't say that was the case, but he did, at least not there on the final lap. I would say that was a strategy issue there. I almost said skill difference, but I'll leave that to the memers to say skill diff, or skill issue, sorry. But that is going to be the last... Hey, I'm glad someone agrees with me. I need to see more there out of Epsma in order to say that that was just pickup luck from Sad. I needed to see more out of Epsma, and it didn't quite see it there. I'm saying on the final track specifically. Not to say that Epsma did a bad job. I mean, he got second place overall, but I don't think that that was the best execution on the pickups on that final track, and Super locked it down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No Marquito, no party. That's true as well. So let's check out those scores. And it is Super beating out Epsma by 6 points. Ashen beating out Wurzel by 2. Ashen moving up a full position thanks to a first place finish there on Toy Vault. And you know what? Ashen's win on the My Race session was due to him finding some first place finishes there on the final 3 tracks. He found 2 first place in the final 3 tracks in the My Race session, and it got him the first. Today, finding a first place on the final track got him a 3rd, gets him into the podium position. So congratulations to Ashen Forest with a huge recovery. Wurzel in 4th, and Wurzel had really been putting in work there by the end. Found a first, then found a last, then found another podium spot. We had Vasowski out in 5th place for the day, beating out Pokers by 1 single point. And we saw Pokers finishing in 4th, and we thought that that was going to win Pokers out over Taco, and indeed it did. But he was just 1 point behind tying with Vasowski there. And in fact, Pokers won Kaddish Sprint. And so if Pokers beat Vasowski, if Pokers got 1 extra point, he would have beaten Vasowski in a tie because he has more race wins in the session than Vasowski. Taco, further down, I know some people hope for more out of Taco, but he was not able to put in that full performance here today. We had Rod as well. Consistent, but not able to really shine at the spots that he was hoping for, I'm sure. Urak, powerful early game. Very strong early game per track, but started to fall off by the time the tracks would end. And that does reflect in his final score, but it doesn't reflect his overall racing because there were so many spots where it looked like Urak could win a race, come in second in a race, and it just fizzled out there by the end. ROG and Esteban representing Latino America, and they could not get their footing here today. Esteban joining a couple tracks late. So that is going to be it for me. You're right, Maddie. Okay, maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe that analysis is not quite right on Rod specifically. But I think for the rest of the field, pretty decent analysis. I don't have an analyst, so if anyone wants to apply to be an analyst, we can have the analyst corner as well. Not give you a hard time, just making a joke there, but that is going to conclude us. Once again, huge congratulations to Super, of course, for winning the session. Huge congratulations to Ashen for sneaking his way into that 3rd place by the end of the session. Epsma, GG for sure. GGWP couldn't quite find the dub there that he needed on Toy Vault Factory to catapult himself into the first. That's going to be it for today. We're going to have more coverage of Division 1 in the featured session tomorrow. You might see more crazy action like you did today, but it's going to be tough to top today's action because some of the most mind-blowing situations that I've seen so far in the RVRL just happened in front of our eyes today. So today was definitely a session that if you're just now tuning in, you need to catch the VOD of today's session. But we'll be back tomorrow with Division 1, and then of course the beloved Revolt Endurance Championship coming at you on Sunday. Event starting around 1845, 1850, and ending, the main race starting at 1930. So that's it for me. If you would like to cast, please contact me. Of course, always love to have a co-commentator here or there. Just a random suggestion, and we'll see you next time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love solo casting, and as you can tell, I can talk for a long time straight. But if anybody wanted to hop in for co-casting, I just wanted to say that the offer's open. Have fun. We'll see you next time.